In this 3 years, I'll learn how to use it.
I don't know if I'll be on.
Any citizens or public comments? Doesn't look like it. Welcome, everybody. Consideration or approval of the agenda.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Starr.
Aye.
Yeager.
Aye.
Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
Malero.
Aye.
Okay, the agenda is approved as submitted. Consideration or approval of the minutes of the September 6th meeting. Discussion?
So move.
Second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Yeager.
Aye.
Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
Malero.
Aye.
Starr.
Minutes of the December 6th meeting are approved. Consideration or approval of the consent calendar. Any questions regarding the consent calendar? You have it down as two different things there, but you want it all as one motion,
That's
right?
one, yep. There was a space in there for something else, so.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
Malero.
Aye.
Starr.
Aye.
Yeager.
Aye.
Consent calendar is approved as submitted. Business of the mayor. Number one, we need to appoint a replacement for Jerry Sinwell, who submitted her resignation. She's no longer able to serve on the Historic Preservation Commission. And I would propose Mary Ann Townsend for that position. We visited with her about it. Needless to say, she has a lot of experience in the whole area of Floyd County history, being the manager director of the Floyd County Museum. So I would submit her name.
So move.
Second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Hammond.
Aye.
Malero.
Aye.
Starr. Yeager.
Aye.
Friesman.
Aye.
The Mary Ann Townsend is hereby, her appointment is confirmed. We did go to the League of Cities, and so you're aware, I was elected president of the executive board for the organization. So anything you may have that you want submitted to the state for consideration, I guess I'm one of the people you could talk to about it.
We did our best to heckle him, but I don't think he heard us. So.
Well, congratulations, Your Honor.
That happens a lot. Next up's the public hearing on 2016 Victory Park Improvement Project. Open the hearing. Have an affidavit of publication.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any written comments or objections?
None, Your Honor.
Any oral comments or objections?
Move to close the hearing.
Second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Malero.
Aye.
Starr.
Aye.
Yeager.
Aye.
Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
Okay, the hearing's closed. Consideration of resolution 69-16 approving final plans and specs for 2016 Victory Park Improvement Project. Discussion.
Yes, the City Council approved the preliminary plans and specifications for this project and authorized taking bids at your July 5th meeting. Now, the Victory Park improvements, this includes sidewalks, plantings, benches, irregular rock walls, and other ground covers for the new Victory Park. And the focal point of the park is the large sculpture that's been created out of the former swinging bridge, which was destroyed during the 2008 flood. Now, one addendum was issued during the bidding process. This addendum delayed the bid letting date by 1 day and revised 2 bid item quantities. It also provided some additional dimensions on some of the limestone blocks. So since the addendum did not change the previously approved preliminary plans and specifications. The final construction documents essentially match those. So I'd recommend approval of Resolution 6916, approving the final plans and specifications for the Victory Park Improvement Project.
Discussion, further discussion?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Star.
Aye.
Yeager.
Aye.
Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
Malero.
Aye.
Okay, Resolution 69-16 is approved. Consideration of Resolution 70-16, awarding contract for 2016 Victory Park Improvement Project. Discussion.
Yes, we opened, we had a bid letting last Friday, September 16th, and unfortunately we only received a single bid for this project. That was from Building and Grounds, LLC, also known as Super Landscapes. Super Landscapes submitted a bid for $72,932. That was significantly higher than the estimated cost as well as our budgeted funds. So what we'd like to do is work with the contractor, also work with the park board to see if we can reduce some of the scope of the project, lower the overall cost of the project. So at this time we're not recommending an award of the bid.
Further discussion? And do you have any strategy as to what you're trying to reduce and what you're not?
Yes, we've already talked to Larry Kurtz, the landscape architect. Steve Lindeman and I, and we've come up with quite a few things that we think we can do to keep the overall project intact, but lower some of the costs.
What was the original bid amount?
Well, the bid amount was $72,932, but the estimate was was like $52,000.
That's what I was thinking. It was quite a bit.
$20,000 spread,
Yeah.
roughly.
So we're simply taking no action on this? Is that what we're doing?
That's our recommendation. Yeah.
Park and Rec's going to be meeting on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then even prior
Yeah.
to that, John, and have to, as John mentioned, I think we can get down to that 50 number. There's going to be some additional funds needed to get to the 50 on the city side as well, but that amount seems achievable.
Okay, then, I guess there's nothing further on this item. Request for street closures for Charles City Homecoming Parade on September 30. Discussion. Who's here for that?
Nobody's here. You probably didn't talk to any of them, did you? Well, they came in, I think, and talked to Brandon and got the paperwork and stuff. Turned in the form. Okay. It's the same route as it's been in the past. They're going to line up over by the senior center. Oh, gosh. come
Down to
out.
Main Street.
Yes. I drive the darn thing, and I can't remember the route.
Says you have a
I
line
do
up
know.
on Ferguson.
I do know what. It's
Ferguson.
Ferguson to Main, then down Main to
Riverside.
Riverside, and stops at the
And that's where
pub.
it stops.
Right.
Okay. Nothing has changed from that previous route that they've always done, so.
So unless there's some complication caused by the construction down there, it should be all right. Has that been factored in? I mean, we've sort of messed with Riverside a little bit.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I wouldn't think that's going to be an issue.
I don't think the construction will get in the way for a couple of years down there.
Okay.
I would so move, Your Honor. Second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Yeager. Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
Malero.
Aye.
Star.
Aye.
Okay, the request is approved. Consideration of Resolution 71-16 approving 2016 Street Finance Report. Discussion.
This is an annual report that's due to the state. And if we don't submit it, we don't get our road use tax money, so it's a very important report to get turned in. It's basically just a summary of all of our street-related expenses. They want a listing of everything that went in and out of the road use tax fund, which is a separate fund. It is earmarked specifically for streets, so that's a separate city fund. And then the other street expenses we would have out of like the general fund, any debt payments, that type of a thing. So it's basically just a summary of all of those types of revenues and expenses that we've had for the last fiscal year. And it's due by September 30th.
Further discussion?
Do we know what they use this information for, or why they require us to report it?
That I couldn't tell you, Delane. I don't know.
Just curious
I
why.
think they just kind of want to know, just so they know that you're spending it on things that you're supposed to be. And I suppose, you know, when it came time to raise, they wanted to raise, like, the gas tax to go more towards infrastructure and that type of thing through the state. They maybe looked at these and saw some of these major projects and thought, you know, we need to get some more money funneled this way. Other than that, I guess I don't know. Steve, do you know at all what they
I'd like
might
to hope
use
that
this for?
they use it for that. Otherwise, I mean, I haven't seen anything explicitly where this is used.
It'd be nice if they'd ask what all projects we have that we can't afford to do.
Yeah, really, that would, wouldn't it?
Well, that's what I mean. It's nice that they know what we spent, but it'd be nice to know what we have going that needs to be done. Anyway, sorry.
To me, it appears like a transparency situation, just like with the TIF. They just have to account for what's being done, and that's the way I see it anyway.
Either way, I would so move, Your Honor.
Second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
Malero.
Aye.
Starr.
Aye.
Yeager.
Aye.
Resolution 71-16 is approved. Consideration of Resolution 72-16 approving facade application for Stacy Ackerson. Discussion.
The design committee recently met to review the application from Stacy Ackerson for their project at 1006 North Grand. And so they've applied for facade grant funding to do some brickwork, assist with putting on a deck and awning work. This grant will cover up to 50% of a project, but no more than $10,000. And so their total project cost is $12,235.65, of which they're asking for that 50%, which is the $6,117.83. The committee has met and they have recommended approval of this application.
Further discussion.
At our planning session where we discussed this matter, I initially had some reservations as far as the balcony or deck being included. However, following discussion from Mrs. Ackerson, that piece seemed to fit in with the criteria of this grant. So I no longer had an issue with that piece. So
It all seems to qualify.
I would so move, Your Honor.
I'll second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Hammond.
Aye.
Malero.
Aye.
Starr.
Aye.
Yeager.
Aye.
Friesman.
Aye.
Resolution 72-16 is approved. Consideration of Resolution 73-16 approving facade application for Cedar River Pizza. Discussion.
Joel Biggerstaff, who was the owner of Cedar River Pizza, submitted an application for their location at 103 North Main Street. And they're going to be removing and replacing picture window, framing out over the garage, new signage, entry door in the garage, doing some exterior painting and on the building, and some addition of signage. The total cost of their project is $15,279.97, and once again they're asking for the max, the 50%, which is $7,639.98. The downtown design committee has reviewed the application and is recommending approval. Well, now one of the questions that has been brought up is right now Cedar River Pizza Company does not own that building. We do have in our application that asks, you know, if you do not own the building, who is the owner? And the owner happens to be Todd Pritchard. And I have contacted Todd Pritchard and confirmed that he is in support of this project. He confirmed that via email today, and he's also going to be following up with something in writing, so we have to go with this. So the owner of the building is in agreement on this application.
Further discussion?
Looks like another good project. I'll move.
Second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Malero.
Aye.
Star.
Aye.
Yeager.
Aye.
Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
And Resolution 73-16 is approved. Consideration
Jason.
of Resolution 74-16 approving contract and bond for 2016 house demolition project. Discussion.
The 2016 house demolition project was awarded to Sargent Trucking and Excavating at the September 6th City Council meeting. Their total bid for the project was $10,324. This project does include the demolition of the house located at 1911 Clark Street. It also includes terminating the water and sanitary sewer services at the respective mains within the Clark Street right-of-way. And following the council's approval of the contract and bond, we will schedule a meeting with the contractor and utilities so we can get the project underway. The work will occur this fall, and the contract has a final completion date on or before October 31st. So we would recommend approval of the contract and performance bond for the project.
Further discussion.
So move, Your Honor.
Second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Star.
Aye.
Yeager.
Aye.
Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
Malero.
Aye.
Resolution 74-16 is approved. Consideration of Resolution 75-16 approving contract with Midland GIS. Discussion.
This is following up a presentation we saw the other night at our workshop from Midland GIS. This is the agreement to enter in with them to inventory and all of our water system, mains, hydrants, valves, and all that good stuff. Basically, what this will do is this will get all that information that we have stored either on paper or stored just personally by various employees within the water department. Get those into the system and on a remote website that we'll be able to access from any location to see where we have our water infrastructure. Basically, we'd like to get this project started this fall. So the information we hope can be collected here before the snow flies, and we can work this winter on getting everything collected and the project up and running. The total cost of the project is $29,800. $24,200 of that is the actual work used in locating the data and collecting it and putting it into the system. The website development is $2,000, and that's an initial one-time fee. As we move forward and we get down to where we're doing our sewer lines, our storm sewer, our zoning, various things, we won't have that website development fee. We won't have that again. That's a one-time fee. And then on top of that, we also have the initial year of web hosting, which is $3,600. This is the current system that we've used for our code enforcement, Beehive. That's currently $8,000 a year, and that's a system that's loaded onto each PC that uses the software. By migrating over to Midland, we'll be able to access this from anywhere, so it won't have to be loaded on specific PCs. And it operates for less than half the cost and has a lot more functionality. So the initial cost we're going to see here is $29,800. We've budgeted for this. It's in our budget, and so we'd like to move forward with this agreement and get the project up and running. This afternoon I sent out, we had a contract, and so I sent out an updated version of that this afternoon, which had just some minor changes on it. Basically that new contract is loaded onto the website, so it's there for review.
Further discussion.
So with this new company, Steve, we feel comfortable they've been around long enough and they've got a good enough product and a good enough company that we're not going to be kind of where we are with Beehive in 2 or 3 years with this group?
I don't think we will be. I mean, I haven't worked with them before. I'm familiar with them. In my previous community, we were looking at this same software. We never got to this point. But they currently work with the city of West Burlington. I've talked to them, and they've been very happy with it. There's a couple other communities I've reached out to, and everything has been positive.
So the references check out pretty good then?
They have.
Okay. All right, so move.
Second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Yeager.
Aye.
Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
Malero.
Aye.
Star.
Aye.
Resolution 75-16 is approved. Miscellaneous correspondence.
None, Your Honor.
Assistant City Attorney's report.
None, Your Honor.
City Clerk's report.
We will have a planning session on Monday, the 26th of September at 7 o'clock. And I was in attendance at the League of Cities Conference, and it was a very, very good conference. It's always a good conference. But next year it's going to be in Davenport, if anybody is interested in going. So keep that in mind. It's a good conference.
Planning session on the 26th.
Yes, sir.
26th. City Administrator's report.
I have a date for our goal-setting session. We talked about that at our workshop, and so I've reached out to Institute of Public Affairs with Jeff Shaw, and we've landed on November 2nd. It's a Wednesday. So I have booked that. We're looking at 5 o'clock start time. Usually about a 2.5 hour, 3 hour process, so we want to get started relatively early. So
Will we order in probably something to eat for them, pizza or something, just so they know they will have something to eat
Prime
there?
rib would be good.
Prime rib.
Gary's going to get us prime rib.
Lobster. Let's go with lobster.
So it looks like one of our goals will already be achieved. So November 2nd, 5 p.m. We'll have the department head portion of that at 1 o'clock earlier that day. So we'll confirm that. We'll get that on the book.
Do they need to bring anything with them, like a list of things, Steve, or any homework to bring with them that we can let
Well, I
them
do ask, Trudy. I'll be sending out the worksheets. I'll be emailing those to you. So just feel free to, you've been through this process. I think everybody's been through this process before. You'll get a worksheet that you list off accomplishments, things that need to happen, changes, all that good stuff. I'll be sending that out to you probably tomorrow. So be looking for that, because those are due. You need to email those back to me by October 15th, October 12th. Is the date to have these back to me, if at all possible. Email them if you can. I'll take hard copies, but I really prefer email if possible. So then that'll give us time to collect all the data and send that down for Jeff and his team to put together and meet with. So yeah, that'll be good. Next week, September 28th, we're looking at that joint session for city and county to meet.
28th?
The 28th, which is Wednesday. And I have 5:30.
I think 5:30 is what you talked about,
Jotted
but I didn't
down.
know if that was what we landed on.
I emailed Gloria and said that 5:30 looks like it probably would work.
Okay.
And so if that works for everybody on the 28th, I'd like to aim for 5:30.
And that's here, right?
That would be here at the council.
Will we have any, the only thing that's a conflict with that, which I doubt if anybody else has this conflict, Community Foundation's governing committee meets at that time, but as long as the county doesn't have anybody who's tangled up with that.
I think the county talked about it this morning. I haven't had a chance to touch base with anybody there, but I don't know if they've confirmed that date and time yet or not, but I think that's what we were leaning towards. Certainly that night, we had really talked about a time specifically, but that'll be the meeting to talk about next steps on the law enforcement committee and what the committee's found to date and kind of moving forward from there. Comprehensive planning, looking to schedule some dates for those sessions, probably starting next week. Delane, Michael, I know you guys have talked about being on the comprehensive planning committee, so I'll be looking to you for some possible times when that might work. Mayor, I'll be in contact with you as well. Gender agreement, we're getting closer to having something for the council to review for our solid waste and recycling agreement. We finalized all the details, which aren't too terribly different from what we currently have, so now we're just going to be looking at potential pricing. And the last thing I just wanted to mention is congratulations to the mayor and the president for the League of Cities. That's quite an honor, and was very well received, and it was a really neat thing down there. So you got to introduce somebody from the CIA, which he's used to, because we have the CIA
right.
here.
But
He's a
the
good
CIA.
CIA.
He was a good speaker.
So, aside from that, that's all I have.
Thank you. Board, commission, or committee reports.
I'll tack on to the League of Cities conference. I was there as well. Probably the best seminar I attended was dealing with capital project fundraising, so I'm hoping to see if we can bring some of that to this city and maybe get some projects going. So.
Was there a good set of materials to back it?
Yes, yep, those are all available on the Iowa League of Cities website and available for anyone to read.
Okay. I believe that's it. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Some of
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We're adjourned.
Anything important?
No. We got a couple minutes? Yeah.
I needed a friend, so I called you.